Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a bit of like a science-y video. I don't know how to explain it. I will say real quick before I continue, I apologize for the background. It's a lot. I know. I do stream, so I'm just using the same background. So just ignore everything back there. But we are going to be talking today about specific types of body paints, okay? And the reason I want to talk about that is because I've had to learn throughout the years how to layer correctly to have my body paints look good, to avoid cracking, things like that. So I kind of wanted to share two of my favorite body paints and how they react completely different because they are made of different ingredients. And I thought, although it's a little bit kind of nerdy, and like more in depth of ingredients and technique and stuff rather than just like fun, oh, I had a shade, I still think it's really important. So let's just get right into it. So I have two main body paints that I love, but I love them for very different reasons, okay? So the first ones are any of the Mehron Paradise paints. These are my number one paints. I love them. They are what I use for absolutely everything. For, you know, big chest pieces, details, anything. Love them. Perfection. The second body paint I really love are the Silly Farm Fab body paints. They're face and body paints. And this is what they're like in a clear container, and this is what they look like. And this I love, but I only love it for line work and detail work because these two paints act completely different. And I kind of want to explain some reasons why that is the case. So technically these both are glycerin-based body paints. Glycerin is skin safe, and that's what makes body paints skin safe on you. And it makes it so that they're creamy and that they stay wet, but they dry, and it makes it really like moisturizing and not super dry. But their main ingredients besides glycerin are completely different. So these ones are glycerin in like talc based, where these ones have glycerin in something called polysorbate 20 specifically, but polysorbate. And the polysorbate is what changes the texture compared to this one, okay? These you can layer, and I'm actually going to do some demonstrations on my arm, but these you can layer on top of each other. You can blend on top of each other, and they stay really smooth. I have never in my life had a Mehron paint crack on me. Where these ones, if you layer them, they crack. They get really thick, and then as they dry and as you move around, the paint literally physically cracks, okay? These are not the best for layering, and they are not the best for surface areas. But this, on top of this, works perfectly because this is considered a little bit more waxy than this one. So think of water and wax, okay? Like you've experienced like when wax is on a candle, or that's a really weird example, but that's what my brain's picturing. Like wax with water on it, the water kind of stays on top, right? And they stay separate. And that's how this kind of works. So again, I'm going to show you, this is perfect to layer on top of this because this is really going to stand out. It's going to be really opaque and sharp because it's not going to blend into this one. If you do try to, it's going to kind of change the texture of this, and you're going to probably experience more cracking. Where these, because there's none of that polysorbate in these ones, these are able to blend on top of each other just like endlessly. So I'm going to show you a couple of layers of each of them, and then one on top of the other, and then blending. You'll see it when I do it. So I've got my little Mehron, and I'm just going to put a layer of the body paint on. All right, there's our Mehron, right? And we're just going to let that dry, and I'm going to put on a layer of the Fab paint as well. And just the way that the pans are, this is so much more like smooth and creamy than this is. So you can tell the difference right from when you start to put your brush in them. So we've got two separate paints. They both look great. They're super opaque. They look lovely. So what I'm going to then do is I'm going to do another little pink square so that I can use this for blending, right? And then I'm going to show you how they layer on top of each other, okay? So we're just going to play the waiting game for a second, and we're just going to let those dry. Okay, these are all dry, so now what we're going to do is we're going to apply another layer on top of them, okay? So I'm going to take another layer of the pink. And I'm trying to go in with like a thick layer so you can see what I'm talking about. But we're going to just apply that right there. All right. Then we're going to add the purple. Again, two very different paints. And the thing is they both look nice right now. They're very opaque. They're very, you know, they're not picking up anything. I'm just trying to get this so that they're both even. These two I'm not really worried about. But I will start to show you, while these two dry, I'm going to show you how the Mehron paints kind of blend into each other. So I'm taking the same brush and I'm taking a red. And what's really nice about these is it's not picking up any product below it, okay? And you're just able to really beautifully blend these together, okay? And that's what I love about these kind of paints, is you're able to layer it and it just creates a new color, or, you know, a mid-tone if you want to kind of ombre them out, and there's no disruption whatsoever. Where with these ones, they just kind of behave a little bit different because they're so thick, they kind of like ball up a little bit. I'll show you these up close, by the way. No worries, but so that way you can see what exactly I'm talking about. But with the fab paints, this is why I love fab paints, because you can get the thickest. This is why I love fab paints, because you can get the most like opaque, sharp line, and the pink did not budge. I'm going to show you something even more wild. I should have shown you with a different color, so I'm going to. I'm going to show you one of the craziest things, okay? I'm going to do another example. My brain is zooming right now. So we're going to do a layer of red of the Mehron paint, okay? We're going to do a line of red paint. We're going to do two because I'm going to show you two different examples here. I'm going to show you the difference in line work and why I love fab paint. So I'm going to let these dry and I'm going to put white paint, a line of white paint over each of them, and I'm going to show you how different they react. Okay, so I'm taking a little bit of the white Mehron paint and I'm going to go over this with it. We're going to do a line. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But this line has started to pick up the red paint underneath right here. Okay? And I'm going to put in a close-up right now so you can see what I'm talking about. It picks up because it's so smooth and it wants to blend with itself. It does not create a crisp line of white because it automatically is like, oh, there's more paint underneath here. I'm going to start to mix together. And again, this is the fact that it doesn't have that polysorbate in it. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with the fab white paint so you can see the difference. Why I love this paint so much for line work. So I'm going to do it the same thing. All right. Again, I'm going to show you close up, but you can see the difference right here, how this white line kind of started to fade where this one stayed pretty opaque the entire time. And I'm also going to show you a close-up of this paint and what's happening here and why this is not good. So as you can see in the top one, I have a couple of layers on top of it and it's looking really smooth and even. Your skin is it's not chunky at all. You can't see that it's cracking in the slightest. The one below it is the fab paint, and as you can see, the texture is completely different. There are parts where there is more of like a thick edge. You can see a lot more of my skin texture, and you can see that it is starting to break up. And the more that I move my skin around, the more that the paint starts to become disrupted because it is a completely different texture. The bottom one, the blending looks great. The one with the purple line, you can see that they did not mix at all. And same with the reds. The top one is the Mehron on top of the Mehron. Also, I don't know why the white was turning yellow, but that's interesting. And then the Mehron with the fab paint is just a lot more opaque. There is a little bit of red underneath, but it's not anything near the first one. So I kind of wanted to just show you a little bit of the science behind body painting. I know that seems kind of odd, but so many paint companies use so many different ingredients that, you don't really know it until you mess with it. I remember one time I did a paint with, I went ham on fab paint, right? And I was trying to paint, and as I was looking at, like, through my mirror and down, my paint was cracking so bad. And that is just because I was layering on top of it, and I was doing everything that I normally do with a Mehron paint. But it wasn't working because it's not the same type of paint. Unfortunately, fab paints are not great for full surface areas, but they are beautiful for detailing. Where Mehron is beautiful for full surface areas and, you know, like blending into itself, but it's not the greatest for super fine details because it's made with a little bit of different ingredients. Again, both glycerin-based paints, but the first ingredient in Mehron is talc and then glycerin. The first one in this is glycerin and then polysorbate. So they're made a little bit different even though they have the main ingredient. So just be careful and like cautious with how you're using paints. Obviously, make sure that they're skin safe to begin with. But experiment and figure out what works best for you. Layer on top of itself. You know, really kind of figure out what paints you like, okay? There are so many different brands, and there's some brands that I don't enjoy very much. There's some brands I absolutely love, but I can only use for certain things, like this comparison that I showed you. I hope the video made sense in my brain. I thought this was a cool video to put out there. So let me know if you did enjoy it. If you do have any questions or anything that you want to see, please leave them down below. If you did like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week in my next one. Goodbye!